Today we're going to be making the Moon Makeup Bag, and the pattern was free online from CouturiYourMommy.com, and really simple. We have 3 pieces here: the lining, the top of the bag, and the bottom of the bag. We're going to put in the zipper, and I'm going to reinforce this with some interfacing. I'm just going to flip that down, and as you can see, this little corner right here, and you can notice on your pattern, is cut off, and that cut off is actually going to go parallel to the bag side. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in there. Stick this in here. Now I'm going to fold this down. I'm going to find the middle of both pieces. I'm going to fold this down and find the middle of both pieces and pin those together. I'm going to continue finding the middle just like we did in the curve video until I have it pinned all the way around. So I'm going to fold it again, find the middle, stick my finger in there. As you can see, I've got it all pinned down. Now I'm just going to take a stitch right along there, and the seam allowance on this pattern is 1/2 inch. Now it should lie really flat, but I'm actually going to sew it with the pattern size down because that's the larger size. And if I feel like I'm going to get a bubble, I'm just going to pull out a pin while I'm sewing. So I've got my 2 pieces all done up, and all I did was take an iron and just press them down just like that with a little bit of steam. Now I'm going to take some adhesible quilter's batting, and I'm going to put that on both sides. It's just going to give this fabric a little depth and texture. I've adhered my quilting fabric to it, and as you notice, I've got 1/2 inch around, which is my seam allowance. That's just going to make it easier to sew and give us less bulk. And to adhere this, I do just as instructions follow. A little steam. Some of them don't call for steam, and it's going to adhere it perfectly. You can see the difference in this and just a regular piece of fabric. Okay, we've got a lot more sturdy here, and it's going to make your bag look a lot more professional. So now let's do the zipper. Okay, the zipper, of course, is going to go right along this curve. So as always, I'm going to take my steam-a-seam and I'm going to put it on this curve. Now I'm going to have to work a little bit harder simply because it is a curve, and I'm going to have to rip my steam-a-seam into little tiny pieces to go all the way across it. Okay, so once I have them all ripped and down, then I'm going to take that iron and steam it a little bit, pull it up, and adhere that zipper. And I'm going to do that on this piece, sew it in, and then I would do the same. I'm going to unzip it, and I'm going to put it right on that line of seam-a-seam. And I'm starting, as you can see, there's my little end of the zipper. I'm hanging that tag off because I'm going to sew over that later on in the process. So just unzip it, and again, you're going to have to work a little harder because you got the curve. So adhere, then do a little bit more. Adhere that, do a little bit more, sew on until you get it in that curve. Okay, now I'm just going to take a stitch right near the zipper all the way around, and it's going to fold under and look just like that. Okay, as you can see, the zipper's in, and I'm just going to zip that up to make sure it works. And you can see the top right there looks great already. Okay, now all I'm going to do is put the lining to this. So I'm going to open it back up. I'm going to take my lining pieces and I'm going to lay them exactly over the other bag and pin them in place. Sandwiching the zipper. The zipper is my meat, and the lining and the outside of the bag are my pieces of bread. And I'm going to pin every 2 inches like I always do. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to sew on that line that I've already sewn on again and adhere that to the zipper, and that'll be the inside of my lining. Okay, this is how I sewed the zipper on right along here. Now I've got the lining pinned on both sides, and I'm going to follow the zipper stroke. And what I have done is actually use the presser foot as my guide to put this zipper in, and now I'm literally just going to sew right over the other stitch. And I backstitched at the beginning and the end. So now you can see what we have. We have the pieces that look like this because I just sewed across there, and all I'm going to do is flip this down, and we have both these pieces. Now I did take the iron and iron that nice and flat both on the inside and the out so the zipper lays really well. And as always, I want you to check your zipper and make sure it zips all the way across really evenly and that you didn't sew over any teeth. So we're going to keep that closed and we're going to open it up. And this is how we're going to put it together. We're going to pull the lining out this direction and flip it down so the two sides are layered. And we're going to keep the lining this way so the two sides are layered. And all I'm literally going to do is sew a big giant rectangle around. And I'm going to leave a little opening in the bottom, probably about 2 inches, so I can flip the bag. So as you can see, I sewed from here all the way around, all the way back to here. Now when I sewed this, I did undo the zipper till about halfway so I could stick my hand in there and pull it out later on. So make sure you don't zip it all the way up or you can't sew over the edges, but also you can't turn the bag. So now I'm going to take my fingers and stick them inside that little bag, and I'm going to grab the farthest corner, and I'm just going to pull it out. I have the needle still in there. And I could have cut off that zipper tail as well. I should have cut off that zipper tail. Now I'm going to pull. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cut that off because we don't need it anymore. It's all sewn into place so it's not going anywhere. I'm going to take my lining and I'm just going to do a little tiny top stitch right across that to seal up that bag. It's in the bottom and no one's ever going to see it. Here we are. You can see where I top stitched that, and this, if this wasn't for the camera, I would have used pink so it would have been harder to see. Now I'm just going to tuck that lining right inside. I'm going to pull out my corners of my bag, and you can always take something, this is a scissor point, and just push those out. Makes it a little bit easier. They make special tools for this, which I own and never remember to get out, because you could jab through with the scissors and ruin your bag. So it's probably a better idea to use something else. A chopstick works really well as well. And there you have it, the moon bag. Perfect size, perfect weight.